Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to another My Restaurant video. So if you guys watched my video from earlier today, you'll know that I did mention that tonight a brand new limited item was going to be added to the shop, which it turns out that a little bit after that, we ended up finding out by David that that was not going to be the case, and instead they were going to be turning items within the shop into limiteds. Now, of course, the moment that this happened, I did go to my Discord and we had a long conversation between all of our members that we have in there, and a lot of people had some pretty good predictions with the reasoning behind it, obviously. But the one thing that I continue to say every single time was that they were going to be removing royal sets, which does now lead me into what I'm gonna unfortunately break to some of you, because I know there is quite a bit of people out there that are extremely upset that this happened. But yes, if we head on over here to the royal bundle, the royal table as well as the royal chair have been removed from the game and are now completely limited items that can be sold in the auction house. And honestly, I know this is going to be the unpopular opinion, but I'm actually really happy with this. But actually, let me rephrase that. I'm not going to say that I'm really happy with it, but I'm okay with it. And I do understand why they went ahead and did this, which I actually did tweet at Big Games when they sent this out. I'll go ahead and show you that tweet in the background right now, but it says, "I saw this coming from a mile away, and honestly, it makes total sense. Removing the royals from the shop reduces the amount of future billionaire players, therefore making it a fair playing field for future limited releases." It's an unpopular opinion, but I'm with it. The number one thing that a lot of people have been complaining with the release of limited items, which I did mention this in my previous video, is the fact that people were buying it, and by people I'm being more specific towards the billionaire players, at the release value, which, just using a futuristic chair as an example, is $35,000. This is a reasonable price for even a starter player, because on my alt account I'm probably like level 4 and I have well over $35,000. But when you have billionaire players, unfortunately, regardless whether the fact that there is a 3 to 5 second cooldown period in between every single purchase, it won't really make a difference because they will have an infinite supply of money in order to be able to purchase these, therefore making it pretty much impossible for the lower end players to be able to afford these, because once the billionaire players get their hands on these, you best believe that they're going to be selling for millions. Now, if you remove the source of the problem, which in this case is of course the royal chair and the royal table, unfortunately you won't be able to eradicate all of the billionaires, because it's just not going to happen. We obviously have more than enough money, and we have more than enough royal chairs and tables to be able to make us the money back. But if they're releasing limited time items twice a week, and within that you have items that are worth 500 million, you have another item that's worth 800 million, 2 billion, eventually those prices start to rack up. And as a player that previously did have $5 billion, in order for me to be able to keep up with all of the limited items that are being released, I will inevitably have to go ahead and sell some of my royal sets in order to be able to make money back to purchase the brand new limited items. So again, while this method will not get rid of every single player that has just an abundant amount of royal sets and an abundant amount of money, it will start to dilute them over time. And honestly, I feel like that's the biggest problem right now. Everybody is so kind of stuck in the moment, and it seems like everyone feels like this is the final update. Like, that's it. There's no more furniture being added ever again. Let's go ahead and assume that for some odd reason this turns out to be the biggest flop ever, and as a matter of fact it ends up making the billionaires even worse and just completely overpowered. What is stopping them from turning around next week and introducing another item that could easily balance out the playing field? There is absolutely nothing stopping them. Sub to the simp himself, Carbon Meister plays. Thanks, side. I appreciate it, man. Honestly, man, I said it in my Discord, and I'll say it again here in the video. I know a lot of people are going to say that I'm wrong, and it's perfectly fine. You know, everybody has their opinion. I'm not going to be mad at you. You're not going to be mad at me, really, because at the end of the day, we all have different points of views. But what I will say is that royal sets have pretty much been broken since the very start. Before you have your first royal set, you're probably making a couple 100,000, maybe even a couple million. But the moment that you go ahead and get those first 4 chairs and that one table, it is honestly a walk in the park to be able to get money. Some people, unfortunately, don't spend the money correctly, but other people invested into buying more royal sets, and eventually you have 7, 8, 10, 12 royal sets, and guess what? You are now making tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. If royals were not removed from the game, it would have just continued to have been the same exact thing. Limited items would have been introduced. Things that we thought were going to actually change the playing field, like the coffee machine, won't really do anything, and we'll just completely ignore it because we're already making ridiculous amounts of money with the royal sets that we have. have. Again, I expect this to be a completely unpopular opinion, and I know that there is going to be the handful of you, if not an abundance of you out there, that are going to be completely against what I say. But even just taking a look at the auction house right now, man, somebody just went ahead and literally added 12 royal chairs for $1,000. This is an opportunity that you would have never seen before if the royal chairs were not limited. But at the same time, I do want to make it very clear that I understand the frustration and I get where you guys are coming from. So I definitely want to go ahead and make that clear before some of you think that I'm just being completely closed-minded. Now, a little bit after I sent out my tweet, Preston did reply to somebody on his personal Twitter with an explanation on why exactly he decided to do this. So in the background, I'm going to show you exactly what he said. And keep in mind, this was posted a little bit after I sent out my tweet. And personally, I feel like I was pretty spot on at least the reasoning why they were doing it. So first off, he said, market determines the item's value. Problem is, the original set price doesn't scale to end game. Progress goes up exponentially, which is actually causing items to be super expensive in the first place. Players shouldn't have billions a week into the game. It's a super calculated move. These items weren't intended to be as powerful as they are. After you get the first royal set, the game turns into a sandbox mode, which ironically creates issues for early game players with the market and future content prices. In layman's term, how do we price content when thousands of players have billions and everyone else has millions at most? Answer, not possible without boring either side. And dude, honestly, I completely 100% agree. The prices that you are seeing within the auction house right now are simply really rich players that are trying to capitalize out of all of the hype that's going on right now. But as the days go by, those prices will balance and they will fluctuate and become a lot more affordable. The day before yesterday, when the coffee maker was released, the peak value was $1 billion. If we go into the auction house right now and we go to appliances, it's sitting at 200 mil. Earlier today, it was sitting at 175 mil. And to be completely honest, on Wednesday when the new limited items get released, or on Tuesday, because they have already confirmed that it's going to be either on Tuesday or Wednesday, but I won't be surprised if these drop down to 50 or even 25 mil. But anyways, that's my take on it. A lot of you were getting in contact with me when the update did drop for me to make a video on it. So this is basically what I have to say about it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like on it and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all types of different content. I know that this is an unfortunate situation for a lot of you, but I promise it's going to get better. I don't personally know anything more than you guys, but I have some pretty decent faith that they know exactly what they're doing. But anyways, I'll be going over the comments. That's going to go ahead and do it for today's video. Like always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.